G'day everyone, welcome to another edition of Craps Down Under. Today I'm going to do a bit of a continuous don't come strategy, similar to, it's got some elements that are similar to the way a blender works, but it's slightly different as well. So let's get started. $600 bankroll. Happy Australia Day to all my Australian viewers. Having a bit of a barbecue later, so I'll get this video out of the way before that happens. So $600 bankroll. We're going to start with a $60 don't pass. And I'll random roll this, get some dice. Now you could hedge that if you want with popping the sevens or covering the O's, but I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm just going to let probability play out however it does. And that's a push, so it doesn't do anything for us. And that's a hard 10. So point's going to be 10. Next we have the dealer say $50 and say we want 42 inside. And we're always just doing 42 inside. So 44 inside I should say. You'll put the caps on it. And land us $6 change. Put that back in our rack and put $20 in the don't come. And what we're doing is we're happy for our don't comes to travel to the 4 and the 10. It's less likely we'll get knocked off these. It will happen. But the idea is we've got $44 in action here. We've got $60 of coverage, so this is basically covered to an amount of $14, so really got $16 exposure is what our net exposure is currently, and obviously we do have exposure on the 10. We could hit the 10 and lose our $60 don't, but you know, currently if you were to say what's at risk to the 7 is $16. We've got a 5. So our DC is going to travel to the 5. Put him there. So he travels to the 5 and he's going to get paid 15 for 1. And we can simply wrap that, or we can press it. Now the idea here is our DC's travelled. We've had a payout of $14. If we get hit again, we're going to basically cover the payout. So we're going to do continuous travels. I actually like the idea of pressing up a unit because we can actually start to make profit on this. We're not just going to get profit when a 7 shows. We're actually trying to get some maybe some profit as our DCs keep travelling through. So we'll put another DC in and see what we'll hit next. A 9. And again, I'll always lay the insides, place the insides. It doesn't matter if the point's on there, we'll always just place them. So DC is going to travel to the 9 and we're going to get paid another 15 for 1. So we'll press that a unit. So again, we've covered this DC. We've got $10 in our rack. So if this does get knocked off, $10 is already in our rack. Effectively $9. Let's say $9 in our rack, and $5. We've got $5 of our profit up here. And should 7 roll, we've kind of really only got a minimal amount of risk against the 7. Because remember, we've got some profit in our rack from that, $10. So you know, we really only got it's effectively, you know, that's what we've got exposed plus $1 because we only got paid 14. So it's kind of nice. We can get the bases loaded and just keep playing. Now, and the reason because our don't pass is 60 bucks. It's sort of covering our original base bets, plus it's also partially covering this last don't come. So whenever the 7 shows, we're always going to lose this one. So that's the thing why we're doing one being twice the amount. And we've got a yo, which is not nice, but we will get more 2s and 3s and we will get yos. That's the probability. And we've got a 7. So getting punished twice. So obviously we're going to lose that one. And we're going to lose these. So let's just sort of add up. In fact, I'll put that one back, that last don't come, so we can sort of see where we ended up. So 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's kind of what we had on the board. And remember, we've already collected twice. We've collected basically $9 times 2. So we've collected $18 already. So if we were to take $18 out of this, let's do that. We'll take $18 out. So that needs to basically do that. So that's our $18 that we've already racked. Right, we've already racked 18 because we're getting paid 15 for one. So we racked that much. That's our actual net exposure that we had. Right. Put that out the way. Right, that's our net exposure. So let's see. Where did that come from? I'm not sure where that one came from. Oh, that's right. That's our. That was off our caps. Right. So I'll convert that back to a 5. Right. So there's our total net exposure. So we're going to get paid 60 on the front line. We're also going to pay 30 here. Right, so that's kind of where we ended up. So let's see how that translates to profit. Right, so we take these out. Right, so we end up, we've covered those two. I'll put these back to the dealer just to show we've covered them. All right, and all we've got to do is cover this. So we've easily covered that with this. All right, so I can put all that back, well and truly covered with these two, and that's basically our 50 bucks net of total profit. It's actually a little bit more. It's about $54 of total profit. So that's where we ended up. We didn't really do anything too heroic there. We didn't have a great run of dice, but let's see how we go. Let's keep going, random rolling. Still a $60 don't, new shooter, and we've got our frontline winner. That kind of makes up for the the one that we lost on the DC. Take that. Now you could parlay it, but we'll just keep it like this for now. There's a 6. So 6 is the point. So again, hand dealer 50 bucks. So put us 2 units on the inside. And we'll get back 6 bucks. Back in the rack. And we'll go 30 in the DC. And we're cooking. We've got a 6, so we've obviously got knocked off. So this is going to travel. points off. We're going to lose this one. So not what we want to see. So we're also going to get paid here. I need to get some more reds. Just give me a sec. Alright, so we need to get paid here, 15 for 1. And we'll press it up. Press it up a unit. And we'll go back on the don't pass, $60. So always want to have our 60. Now we have got this, these are off on the come out. These aren't working at the moment. Now we can work them because we've actually got a DC. If you didn't have a DC, I wouldn't work them, but we actually do have a DC up. So it's your discretion. You can either work this and get a bit of a hit when you make the point, or you can say, no, I won't work them, and I'll at least have $30 of coverage on that DC. So, you know, take your pick. What do you think's more likely? You're more likely to hit one of these numbers than a 7 come out, because you know there's just so many more combinations that you're covering here. So, given that this is not quite covering our action, but we have had one hit here. Remember, so we've really only got $6 of, or it might be $8 on this one. But yeah, we've got a little bit more exposed here. This is about $6. We've had one hit. So, you know, we've got 10, 20, 32, and a plus 6. So, we're still a little bit over. So maybe we'll just say, no, we'll have our action turned off. And so, you know, do what you feel's right for you. It's just a general, this is just a general play. It's not, don't feel that you're constrained and rigid in what I'm showing here. So make it your own. So we'll have our action off here, and we'll just have this one covering half of our action there, and hopefully we don't roll a 6. And we've got another front line winner. So we'll take those any day of the week. That kind of helps to pay for the other one that we got, and we got knocked off. And we've got a 10. So 10's the point. And now all the action's working. So in a great position here, we've got don't pass on the 10. We've got $30 here. We already have one hit here. So we've only got $6 there. So we're well and truly covered all our action. We're in a great spot here. You can't ask for better than that. So that's a $30 winner there. Put an arrow up. And 5. So DC travels to the 5. Put down another one. And the idea, we want to get this as loaded as we can. And we've got a 9. Preferably we don't want to get, oh, I forgot to pay my 15 for 1, and I should be pressing him. And now I've got to pay my 9 as well, so I'm getting 15 for 1, and I'll press in one unit. And the DC. And the idea here is if I keep getting continuous DCs, I'll keep growing up my number, and you know, I'm going to get to a point where, you know, my stack is going to be more than what the DC is, and at that point I don't really care about the DCs anymore, or I can just take my action down and just sort of let the DCs play out as they are. There's just so many ways you can play it. Once you get a little bit ahead, your exposure is now minimal. You've got literally nothing exposure here. That's a push. And we've got an 8. So this is like, you can't really ask for better than this. So we've got our 12 paste 14 or 15 for one. So we'll press it up. So we've got 18 on that now. We're effectively rating $9. And let's get another DC. 5. So 5's one already pressed this guy up. We've already had a hit. So we're going to lose this DC. But remember, we already got paid $14, so we've only really lost $16. Now that because we've also pressed it up, well, we're going to get paid $21. And so I'll do, I'll do it for that. 21. $21. So the $9 plus we've racked, and now we've pulled another 21 out. So we're basically 30. We're perfectly even, and we've got another DC back on there. Right. We can press it again. Let's do that. Let's just say we do. You don't have to do this. You don't have to press. You can just keep it flat. It's not like you're going to come in any harm's way, but the idea is if this keeps it going on longer roll, it's a kind of a balance between, making some profit on these hits versus just making money only on the 7. So we're kind of growing this, and hopefully this will grow faster than what's happening here, and then we're basically at the point where we've got no exposure, where we're just ahead, completely ahead. So if this grows before a 7 shows, we don't actually even need to keep doing the DCs. And that's the point you get to. You get to a point where you just go, well, I don't need to do the DCs. I'm happy for this to keep growing. If it's a long roll. But if it's a short roll, then you've got the cover, and you're risking some of the profit, but you're still making money on your DCs. So I won't set them. I'll just random roll. And I did forget to put this one in here. Should have that one in there. Always going in the DC until these grow to a rate that they're going to make more money for us than the DC. So what happens here? We lose this one. So I'm going to put all my losses again. I'm going to kind of show that we are making money because we've been racking, and these are all losers. This is all loss. Right, so it's all losing here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take that one back. So, and I'll get 3 of those. So I want to just illustrate that was all the action. Now, a lot of this is not out of our bankroll. Remember, our original bankroll, we only had 44 of our original bankroll, and we've had hits, and we have actually racked profit. So this is there's very little bankroll on here, very, very little, maybe $15 of bankroll was actually left. So we get paid 30 here, 30 here, 30 here, 30 here, 60 here. So just to make it very clear, even with the action that was actually on the table, we're still, even though most of this is actually, our winnings, our actual, we had like about $5 here and $6 here, $5, $6 here. So, we had maybe $25. One of these is literally what was exposed of our bankroll. This was a bit of, what I call sort of house money. But this is what we're coming back into our rack. So, yeah, it doesn't take too much to get yourself into a nice position. And then obviously all of our action comes back to us. Just pull that down. doing quite well with this. I have to get rid of that. That's $100 there. I'll put a $100 chip in our rack. There's the original 600. Take that back to the house. So let's just see after a few hands where we're actually at. There's a total of 600. Colour up our one. That's 3 there. That's 25 there. Right, so $225. Right, so $225, and we've played a few hands. All we've done is establish a few DCs and the eventual 7 rolls, and we collect. We don't care if our DCs are getting knocked off. It really doesn't matter. Our only main exposure is on that first roll. And a little bit of exposure on that second roll, but yeah, look, we can get knocked off this a few times. That can certainly happen, but it's not going to happen all the time. That's just the reality. You're not going to keep knocking off you don't pass. You know, and if you get a hot shooter and he does it to you once, maybe sit out that shooter and go for the next one. You know, got to make that call yourself based on what's happening at the table. But anyway. Really simple, short and sweet. That's all there is to it. It's make it your own. Do it, but yeah, minimal exposure play, and you're easily going to satisfy any requirements at a casino that requires a minimum pass line or don't pass bet. You're betting $60 on the don't pass. You're betting a $30 here. About the only place you might come unstuck is if if you can't play $10 single units here, so you'd have to scale it up a bit. But if you're playing at higher limit tables, then that's just what you have to do. So anyway, I think we had a $600 bankroll. We've made $225. We haven't been beaten down at all. So it's not a bad outcome, and you'd be quite happy to say, yeah, made my money, let's go. So I'm going to end the video there. I think I've shown enough of the basic strategy, and you just keep loading it up. You just keep loading up. You want to get these bases as loaded as you can. A long roll, it's always going to end up loaded up. It's very rare you're going to have a long roll where they hit this 7, 8, 9 times. And even if they do, you're pressing a unit every time. There's a point where you get to and you go, I've made so much money on that last hit, there's no point in me putting DCs on anymore. I'll just let my light side action work, and I won't bother putting DCs. That's what I mean. It's a general framework. It's not a locked-in straitjacket strategy. Play it how you feel, but that's the sort of bare bones of it, and I hope that's been interesting.